figure out what it is. The dues this time includes July, August, and September. The Polio Plus. There was no charge for Rotary International Ball Gas Fellow because we will the first 2 quarters already. Thanks.
Any other? Yes.
The social, $3,500, is that a cost to us, or is it a charge to social?
That's a cost we set aside to cover the cost of the social. Now, you know, when we start putting drinks on top of that, you'll pay for it. We're trying to, that's still in flux. We're trying to make it so that only the people, if you pay for social as a club and you don't come, you're sort of being double billed. It's unfair that you don't come, but other people get to use your money. And we're still looking at that, yes.
Currently, if you attend, you are charged, is that correct?
Yeah.
In an attempt to have everybody come to the Christmas party, we have actually billed folks. There's a line item for the Christmas party. There's a line item for the Valentine's party. Okay? What we're trying to do is, and there's a line item for socials. What we're trying to do is lower all those numbers so that if we have a social and we meet somewhere, if you show up, you pay for your drinks and maybe we pay for hors d'oeuvres. Okay, so it's basically going to really come back on the people that attend. With the Christmas party, that's a bigger event, costs more. We're still looking at that, but every one of those line items that you see have been reduced for the coming year. And any input that anybody has on how to do this would be helpful. But what we want to have happen is if you come to a quarterly social and you buy drinks, you pay for your drinks. We had a very nice social at the Holiday Inn, and the hors d'oeuvres were gratis at the hotel. But sometimes we may have to pay for our hors d'oeuvres or whatever else. So we're still working on that. But the intent of all these changes is to really be transparent and have actual understanding of costs and expenses. And I think we're moving in the right direction, but there's still room for improvement.
Okay, any other, yes?
An observation, the early 90s was one big pot of money. And then the first step was to separate the two things. Before it was chaos.
Well,
We were organized now.
well, more or less, our bylaws require us to separate the money into 2 accounts. We haven't done that yet, but we're working to that. We're also in violation of our bylaws because it says we have to change them to bring in the criteria for the family member, the corporate member, and the E-member. The text for all that has already been sent out to the board members. I've asked them to look at it. There's been some discussion. We'll have a board meeting in August, the 3rd Friday in August, where we'll probably have some changes to our bylaws. And tonight we're going to try and initiate a change to actually have 2 physical accounts. One for administrative expenses in dollars and one for our charitable work. Right now we don't, but we're getting closer. Any other questions or comments? Yes?
I know Rotary is a 501(c)(3) or that category, and they don't call it retained earnings, but what is our balance normally? Do we have in our back pocket or retained earnings?
This is as July 1st. Retained earnings are $20,479. Net income minus $2,369. Equity account there, the difference there is we're $18,000 to the good. Okay, and I have the last 7 years if you like to look at it.
He's put a lot of time in on this. And, your eyes get crossed after a while. Any other questions about the money or where we're headed or things like that? Great. Okay, what's that? Yes.
How much past due, overdue bills do we have out there? Not percentage-wise, whatever.
I don't know.
What was that question?
What percentage of past dues money do we have outstanding?
As of June 30th, we have $3,900 outstanding dues.
Any other questions? Great. The final thing I'd like to do, and I've been very remiss on this, and we're just going to make it pretty close. Bob has been our president for a year. He's done a lot. You probably don't know it, but he was a president in Henderson, North Carolina before, and he was also district governor there. No? Everything but. Okay. See, I got that wrong too. But anyway, he's done a lot of work in Henderson. He taught me a whole heck of a lot. And, you know, I never really got to know the guy, and we've never really had a chance to say thank you. So I was talking to a number of people about this, and, you know, nobody really knew him as well as the people in Henderson. So what I did was I got online and I looked at the Henderson Rotary Club, and they don't have a website. They have a Facebook page. I went through it. I found some pictures of people that had both their names, and I went to the electronic telephone directory in Henderson and actually found some phone numbers. So I called the people in Henderson, and I recorded their phone calls, and I'd like to share them with you and tell you about Bob. So we're working hard on this, but this is one of our webmasters, Chris Jones. The website is up to date, and while we're waiting for him to start the one phone call, there's no meeting next week. It's on the website correctly, but there's no meeting next week. Play it. Can you hear that? Hi, Mr. Dukes. This is Jeff Johnson from the Rotary Club of Beaufort.
How are you? The folks from Beaufort. Why are you calling me?
Sorry, Mr. Dukes, but that is Beaufort. Beaufort, South Carolina, not Beaufort, North Carolina.
Oh, really? Sorry. But I'm here to these days, and I'm pretty excited. Don't get many calls, so how did you find me, and what can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Dukes, I saw your name on your club's Facebook and managed to find your number in the local directory. And since you're the only Rotarian I know from your club, I'm calling about your Rotary Club and
My Rotary Club? Well, glad you said so. It's great. We have a lot going on, and frankly, we're really growing now. We had a bad stretch sometime that really destroyed us. In fact, we need to talk to Bob Marks and Sarah Stokes about where we're headed and the past issues, if you want to. As for me, I'm only focused on the future.
hey, well, that's great, Mr. Dukes, but the only past information I'm worried about is getting some insight into a friend of mine who used to be in your club. His name is Alan.
You mean Alan Grover? What a great guy. Can't say enough about him. He really got the ball rolling after the bad times.
No, Mr. Dukes, sorry, not Al Grower, and I really have no idea what you mean by the bad times. I'm talking about another friend of mine. His last name is Allen, Bob Allen.
Did you say Bob Allen?
Yes, he's the guy that... I was astounded by the people in Henderson. Here's a guy, his phone doesn't work. I called him every day, about 3 or 4 times a day for a week. My message always went to voicemail. He doesn't know his phone is not operating. I was very depressed. And then my wife said, well, listen to the tape. So I did, and I found out that there were 2 people he mentioned, Sarah Stokes and Bob Marks. So I went back to the directory and found a conversation about Sarah Stokes. So let me play that for you. excited. I was fine. You know, this woman said Bob is a go-getter. He makes things happen. I was really, really excited. Later that day, I called the other guy, Bob Marks, and I think we can play that for you now. You ready?
Hi, is this Bob Marks? Speaking. Hi, Mr. Marks. This is Jeff Johnson.
Calling up from Beaufort, Rotary, South Carolina. Sarah called me as soon as you hung up with her. I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow, so I'm in a bit of a hurry. How can I help you?
Well, Mr. Marks, I'm trying to get some insight into the time of Bob Allen. He was your president because he was our president last year, and I'm trying to paint a picture of the real man behind the face, so to speak.
A very long ago. So let me contribute to it. For the past 2 years, Sarah Stokes and I have been gathering data and analyzing to try to figure out what happened to our club. It's complex in some respects, so let me send you a couple slides regarding the times of Bob Allen, and you can draw your own conclusions.
Hey, that's great. Is there any accompanying text or comments that go along with the slides?
You won't need any. The slides speak for themselves. There will be 3, before Bob, during Bob, and after Bob. Just look at them and all will be clear. When do you need them by?
I need them in a couple of days.
No problem. I'll get them to you soon. Take care and good luck.
Hey, thanks, and enjoy your vacation.
I wish I could say that the people in Henderson were responsive to my requests. It took about 10 or 12 days before they finally answered my call. In fact, last night I was on the phone until about midnight. I called Bob Marks' phone, his cell phone. It went to voicemail again and again. I finally found he had a home phone, which was a landline. I gave him a call. The guy's kind of grumpy. He said he'd send me the messages for the slides, and I got them about 20 minutes before this meeting started. So let's see, the slides should be coming up here in a minute. I really haven't had a chance to look at them too much. Give me a minute. No technology.